Welcome to the Collector Cave, and today we have a review of Hasbro Marvel Legends, the Fantastic Four First Steps. Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm, both versions of Johnny, Ben Grimm, and Silver Surfer. I have her on pre-order, or I have her on order. She hasn't come yet, but this is the main family. And with the movie technically dropping midnight Thursday, today is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2025. I'm going to have this review ready to go for the 24th tomorrow. I'm seeing the movie the 25th after work, and then going to see it again in IMAX, which is about 2 hours from my house. I'm a huge Fantastic Four nerd, and I know that some reviews have dropped for the movie, and I'm ignoring the outside noise. I'm going in with a fresh, open mind, and I'm praying that this movie hits good and it reinvigorates my love for the MCU, because man, Fantastic Four is where it's at, and I've been waiting for a solid Fantastic Four movie. So I hope this is it. Regardless, these figures look solid. And these are the side of the boxes. The packaging is fantastic. So you have Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, played by Pedro Pascal. You have Sue Richards, the Invisible Woman, played by Jessica Kirby. You have Johnny Storm, played by Joseph Quinn. There's two different versions. There's a Johnny version and the Flame On version. And then you have Ben Grimm, which is played by Eben Moss-Backrack. I think it's his name, Eben Moss, yeah. So, the casting, they wouldn't have been my first choice, but it is what it is. And I love the aesthetic of this movie. I cannot wait to see how this retro 60s world plays out. And excited to see what's going to happen with them entering the MCU. I have some ideas, but just take a look at these figures. The packaging looks great. I love the artwork on the side. I love the font. It even has a retro 60s look on the font as well. And if we look at these a little bit closer, so here is Reed, Pedro Pascal. It's kind of hard to tell, but we'll get a look at him closer. But it looks pretty good. It's a pretty good likeness to Pedro. I mean, for a $25 figure, it's not bad. But look at this packaging, really sleek packaging. And then there's a picture of the back. Just going to show them to you real quick. Here is Sue Richards, and this one probably has the worst likeness. I don't think it looks like Vanessa Kirby really at all. And even the Hot Toys version, the prototype they showed the other day, doesn't look the best. So she may be one of those ones that's just hard to capture their likeness. And regardless, man, for me, this is Sue Storm. That's all I care about. I'm just happy to get another Sue Storm figure. And she comes with an invisible force field effect, which is pretty cool. And then here's Johnny, probably the weakest of the set, because it's just Johnny with two flames that go on his hands. There's the head sculpt. Does it look like Joseph Quinn? Not too much. This painting on the side looks pretty good. But again, it's Johnny Storm. I'm happy to have him. And then here's the Human Torch version. And he comes with two hands for flight, and there's some fire effects connected to him. And then finally, and maybe my favorite figure in the bunch, is Ben Grimm, the Thing. And I say that because I love Fantastic Four. I especially love the original Fantastic Four that was done by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. The way Jack Kirby drew the Thing, I feel like Marvel Studios did their best to emulate that. And this looks pretty accurate to a Jack Kirby Thing come to life in the big screen, right? And in figure form. So he comes with two open hands. So let me get these guys all in package. I'm going to probably keep the packaging. I'm going to be real careful opening it. As you can see, they haven't been even on pegs. I'll tell you where I got these towards the end, but let's get these all opened up, take a look at the team, deep dive, and then do some comparisons with some older Fantastic Four figures. All right, and here is the set, or at least the first family of Marvel, out of packaging with all of their accessories laid out. And, I went through every figure and moved every articulation point. Not a single point was stuck out of package. When it comes to Marvel Legends, that's probably a first for me. Yes, it's the gummier plastic. It feels better than old Legends to me. It's been a while since I've collected Legends. I've got a few here or there, but I kind of stopped collecting Legends for the most part a couple years ago. But here we are. You'll see plenty of Legend stuff on my review channel, because there's some cool stuff that's come out the last couple years. But regardless, these look great. Accessory wise, comparing them to some older releases, I think they're lacking a little bit. I have the set from the Walgreen exclusives from like 5, 6 years ago. And I feel like they came with more accessories. Like Ben had an extra head sculpt, stuff like that. But I guess it's not too bad. I would have liked a few more accessories for a couple of these figures, namely Ben, another head sculpt, Johnny, some flame balls, or something like that. This Johnny, more flame effects. I'm okay with Sue, and I'm okay with Reed for the most part. But overall, they look pretty good. Let's zoom in a little bit. Check out the team. Reed Richards, Susan Storm, Susan Richards, Johnny Storm, Human Torch version, and then Ben Grimm is the Thing. And in the movie, Ben's got he has a coat he wears, or a jacket that covers him. I would have liked to have had a version like that too, honestly. I mean, this is the traditional look right here with his, chest showing. But let's look at them one by one, I guess. Take a look at it. The paint apps are done pretty well. I think this looks pretty good for Pedro. I know a lot of people are tired of seeing his face everywhere, but I mean, whatever. I don't know. I just think people hate a lot of stuff. People love to hate on stuff. It's a cool thing to do. I think this retro look looks great. It looks like a 60s sweater type material. I do wish Reed had the white, and I think they did that because he's the team leader or something, but I wish they would have kept that uniform and kept his white collar. I love the way the belt and the gloves look, and especially the boots. The boots almost feel like moon boots, like something you would have seen in NASA, like futuristic NASA. And even the bottoms are painted and have some tread, which is pretty cool. And Hasbro also has foot pegs. I wish Hasbro gave a stand. For as much as they're charging, these figures should have stands. I don't know why they don't. It would really help in the display booth. The display, if they had stands, they wouldn't fall down. But overall, I'll go over articulation for him. It's pretty much the same for all of them. The head is on a ball joint, and it looks way up. He can look way up and look way down. Of course, you can spin it all the way around. The neck does not move, though. It's just at the top of the neck at the bottom of the head. Arms, of course, go up 90. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that do work all the way. Ball hinge wrist pegs. The hands are real gummy, almost like Mezco hands. And then there's a ball joint torso and then a swivel waist. Too bad it's not a ball joint there as well. Not a huge deal. Legs go just about 90. His pants do get in the way. There is a thigh cut in each of these figures, double jointed knees in each of them, and then the typical ball hinge foot peg that they have. They can get good, and all these figures have great rocker. Well, I don't know about Ben, but the main human figures have good rocker. And then for Mr. Fantastic, you can take his arm out and you can plug in one of his long arms. And unlike the Walmart version, this one actually bends. Not a whole lot. It can do some bend. It's not anywhere good as the Doc Ock from Mezco, but obviously it's a different price point we're talking. But so he has two long arms. You can put both these arms on. They plug in real easy, and so you can get some Mr. Fantastic poses. One is a grasping hand, as you can see there, and the other is kind of like an open palm. I wish one of these would have been a fist. He does come with two fists, right here. But yeah, it would have been cool if he had legs as well, or a torso like the Mezco one. But I get for $25, they can only do so much, I guess, within the price range. So be careful putting these back in, that you put them in a way that they can lower the arm correctly. All right, so that's Reed. Pretty cool. Let's look at Sue. And again, I don't think this looks like Vanessa Kirby whatsoever. But with that said, I think it's a fantastic Sue Storm figure face. And that's really all I care about is Sue Storm. I don't need them to look exactly like the actors. It's not. I'm just happy to have a new wave of Fantastic Four figures. And I will say the number 4 emblem on all these figures looks good. The paint apps are clean. If we go back to Pedro, Mr. Fantastic, it looks pretty good. And he does have the white hair, just kind of dry brushed a little bit. But Sue looks good, just not like Vanessa Kirby. So if you were hoping for that, this isn't gonna work out for you too good. And then she has this hand that has a peg in it, or a hole for a peg, and that's for the invisible shield. or the shield she's using. So you can get her holding the shield out. Let me kind of get a pose here of her, kind of like her head does not turn. So just know that her head doesn't turn. So something like this, right? Like she's using her powers to, and it's got like bullet holes in it, which is pretty cool. So I think that's a great accessory. Well done, Hasbro, on this. And it's kind of like clear. You can kind of see through it. The Mezco one's kind of blue. And to be honest, seeing this one now, I like this clearer look better. It looks more like it would in the comics, that invisible shield that you have to still draw so we can see it as the readers, right? But yeah, pretty cool that she has that accessory. And then, of course, she comes with 2 fists as well. But as far as her articulation, mostly the same as Mr. Fantastic. However, because of her long hair, she has like no head movement. You can get the hair over to make her turn a little bit to look, but it's not easy. She can't really look down. Well, she can look down a little bit, yeah. But she can't look back because of how long her hair is, as you can see here. But overall, man, look at that. That's a great looking figure. I feel like Mezco, Hasbro's gotten better with their female body figures over time. Maybe still not exactly where they need to be. One thing I'm noticing, and I don't know what this is, every one of them has a wristband on. Reed's got one. Sue's got one. Johnny's got one right here. And then the Thing, which I already knew the Thing. I saw that in the trailers. But I don't know what they're for. If they're maybe to control Herbie, that's a thought. Maybe we'll find out. I'll go in fresh, not having that spoiled, because Lord knows they've shown way too many trailers already. But she looks good. There's her boots. She kind of has heels on hers. Yeah. Sue Storm. Doesn't look like Vanessa Kirby, but this is a solid release for an Invisible Woman. All right. Next up is Johnny Storm sans the Flames, the Flame On version. And does this look like Joseph Quinn? Not so much. Not so much. But I like it. He has a smile, which is good. And his articulation's much like Reed's. I just noticed Johnny's has the white comes down his sleeves. Sue's doesn't. And of course, Reed's doesn't either. I kind of like this. A little bit different than the classic look. And then there's those cool boots. Really like the boots. It looks like a lot like Mr. Fantastic's. But there's the head sculpt. And then he has these flame pieces. I haven't tried putting these on yet, but I think all they do is they wrap around his wrist. So it looks like he's got flames coming out of his hands or something like this. You can do them however you want. I wish there would have been more flame effect pieces for this version of Johnny. He does come with 2 fists as well, but this is, to me, definitely the weakest figure in the bunch, just because it's just a Johnny Storm figure. Most people are going to want to have that Human Torch, which, speaking of which, here is the Human Torch. And I kind of like this version, the plastic and the coloring, better than the one I have from the Walmart exclusive some years ago. And I love that there's the lines, kind of that classic way Jack Kirby drew Human Torch. And even before him, was that in the 40s when they had the Human Torch, the android? Had the lines like that. But I think this is based off of like his suit, right? So his suit has the lines, which is kind of cool. They kind of melded that into the Human Torch version. And unlike the other one, this flame piece is molded on. You can't take it off. I mean, you probably could, but it's stuck on. And then he's got the flame head. He's got flames around his hands and wrists, which I don't believe, can they come off? Maybe. I'm not going to mess with them. Same down here. I don't think they can really come off. Unless you could probably pull them off, but you might have a hard time getting them back on again. So he can look up about that much because of the flame piece. So he still can do flight poses. And he does have 2 straight hands. If I pull this off, oh boy. Oh, that one has the band there too. The band is actually separate. You can take that band off. I wonder why that is. but you can kind of give him like he's flying. Let me try and do a quick pose here for you guys on camera. Quick flight pose. So it's like he's, you can get his back arched up a little bit. Yeah. No flight stand, of course. No, no stand or base at all with Marvel Legends, unfortunately. But I think he looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Let's move on to Ben Grimm, the final figure here in this review. I think this looks great. I think it looks very much like Jack Kirby's Thing. The blue eyes are done really good. I think they should have given another head sculpt, like maybe the bearded one. Which I'm not a huge fan of that beard look, but I mean, it's cool they did that. I think they should have given another head sculpt to round out this figure. But I think the coloring looks good. The rock formation on him looks solid. He's got a 4 on the belt. He also has a 4 on the pants. And that is done well on both sides. And there's his feet. Can his feet rock? Oh, his feet rock really good. Check that out. Yeah, so he's got pretty good articulation. Now, of course, because he's a beefier figure, he only has single jointed elbows. But I think they're done well. You just can't expect to get crazy articulation from a figure this big. And then he's got one ball joint, which he goes back pretty far, goes forward a little bit. And then they all twist at the torso. There's no ball joint at the torso, which is weird. Or at the waist, I should say. Head looks up really good, and then looks down really good. So for a big guy, he's got pretty good articulation, in my opinion. And then he comes with, let me pop one of his other hands on. He comes with open grasping hands. So one like that. And then the other one's a little bit more open, like that. So yeah, let's see if we can get him. Probably can't get him into a pose because he's too big. Trying to make him like he's punching, holding his fist in his hand. No, if he had butterfly joints, he'd be able to. But still, that looks pretty good. You can make him like he's, man. Yeah, pretty cool. Great looking figure. All right, now it's time for some comparisons. All right, here's the Pedro Pascal Reed Richards next to the one from Walmart exclusive from like maybe 5-6 years ago. And as you can see, they both come with extendable arms. However, this one, the arms don't bend really at all. It doesn't do much. Whereas this one bends a bit better. And boy, proportion-wise, I feel like the new one it looks so much better. Apart from the head sculpt, I think that Reed Richards head sculpt is fantastic. But the feet look kind of weird the way they molded those feet. They're just flat and weird and goofy. This is proportioned better in my opinion, although I think a thinner Reed looks better than that. He's not as thin as Reed should be in my opinion. And then we have the cream of the crop, and you can't even see this one. This is the Mezco. Reed Richards, and I don't have him taken apart. Look at this thing. If you haven't seen this, I'll try and link my Mezco review I did towards the beginning of this channel here in this review. Check my review out of that one because I love this set. One of my favorite sets by Mezco, and this Reed turned out fantastic. I don't know if anyone can top this Reed Richards that Mezco did. It's so good. So check out that review if you haven't seen it yet. But I'd say out of all of these, obviously the Mezco one's my favorite. The price point's a lot more though, so it's going to be more money, obviously. But out of these two, boy, I hate to say it, but I'm liking this one better, I think. Even though I would take that head sculpt. Ooh, let's see if we can swap head sculpts. All right, I was thinking Hasbro has to do things dumb. And this ball peg's a bit too big for this head, unless I force it down. But then, even then, the paint won't match. This is more of a tan. This is more of a pinkish color. So it's too bad I can't get that head. I could probably do some work and shave it down. But the Pedro one, conversely, actually fits on this. I think his head's maybe a bit big for that body. But it does work on there. Maybe it's a bit low because it's bigger. But yeah, That one works. This is too bad that the cool Reed Richards head doesn't fit on here. What about the Mezco one? Okay, the Mezco one's doesn't fit too. This ball peg is huge compared to this, and plus the color. The head's too big because Mezco figures are a bit bigger. They're not going to look right on this figure. And then even on here, that one's not too bad. It's still a bit big. Still a bit big, as you can see. The Mezco head's too big because it's a bigger scale. That's all right. All right, and here's some versions of the Invisible Woman. On the left is the Walmart exclusive from 5-6 years ago. Of course, this is the Vanessa Kirby one from First Steps, and then this is the Mezco one. And as you can see, the different colors in the protective force fields. Mezco's is blue, this one's clear. I kind of like the clear one better. I didn't know any different until I saw this. And of course, she comes with a couple different ones. This too came with Herbie, I think, and then she has one more invisible hand. That's about it. She doesn't have any effect pieces like this, that I remember at least. So, man, to be honest again, the proportions of this new figure is better than this one. It's funny, putting them side by side, you don't see things like that until you have them side by side. And I've loved this Sue Storm figure. I still do, but boy, this body looks better than this one in my mind. And of course, the Mezco one looks good as well. But you know, even though it doesn't look like Vanessa Kirby, I still love this look for Sue Storm. I'm liking this figure more than I thought I was going to. Really cool. Okay, and the only Johnny Storm figure I have that's not Human Torch is this one from Mezco. Mezco didn't do a Human Torch body, which was a disappointment. They gave you the head and a ton of flame effects, a flame pillar, just not the body, which that was the only missing point. I didn't feel like changing the head out because I had to find the neck piece, and it's packed away. But here is one of the Johnny Storm head sculpts right here. As you can see, very 60s looking. I think it looks better than the one that came with the new figure. This is probably the weakest figure in the set for me, to be honest. I still like it. It's just the least I'll do with that one probably. But I'm glad that Hasbro did decide to do a Johnny Storm body and a flame and a Human Torch body, unlike Mezco that didn't do that. Okay, and here is the Johnny Storm from First Steps, and then the one from the Walmart exclusive some years back. And I think overall, I like the coloring on this one better. I like that darker red. It looks better, I think. This one came with fireballs, though, 2 of them, which you can put on the hand. And this one can pose better. This one poses easier. It's got that, what is this called? This system here, as opposed to this one with a ball joint in the upper chest. You get better posing out of this one. I don't like these legs, these hips, as well as the hips on this one, though. So it's like give or take. There's things I like better on each one of them. And these hands that come with the new one, these flame pieces can be pulled off. So you don't have to use the flame piece if you don't want. They can go off and be separate. So just know that. I didn't try pulling off the ones on the ankles. I think they can, but I'm not about to do that. So yeah, I think they're pretty good. This one poses better. I like the look of this one better overall. Although I like the look on this face, his smiling, that face, better than this face. And for some reason, it's almost like he's a hunchback. I can't seem to get his neck. His neck is angled forward, as you can see. And I don't like how they did that. I guess I can maybe... It's better, but it still is weird how they angled the neck going in an incline forward. But I do like that this is on there permanently because this thing falls off a lot, especially in the Mezco version. Okay, next up is Ben Grimm, the Thing. All right, it's clobbering time. Here are 3 things, literally 3 things. So on the left, we have the Walmart exclusive from 5-6 years ago. And then, of course, the First Steps one. And then here's the Mezco one. Boy, it's hard to choose which one's my favorite. I'll probably go with the Mezco one because of all the cool things he comes with, like this girder that is bendable, the Yancey Street sign that's bendable, the light, and he comes with like 3 or 4 head sculpts, a bunch of stuff, the coat, the everything, incognito look. However, I think I like the orange on this one the least out of all 3 of these, and I'm not sure which color I like better. I like the rock look of this one, I think, the best, the bigger plates. But I think I typically like this color orange the best on Thing, but I do like that one. That's so tough. But as you can tell, size-wise, the Mezco one is the shortest. And if I put, yeah, if I see, so Ben in the comics is about 6 feet tall. He's not huge like the Hulk. People always misunderstand that. So I think Mezco got him right. As you can see, he's still a bit taller than Reed. But this one's even taller than the Mezco one, but shorter than the Walgreens one. So I feel like Ben is actually a bit tall in toy form. I wonder in the movie if he'll be that taller. Not a huge deal. Not a huge deal, but he's definitely not the size of the Hulk, and I'm glad that they did their best to kind of keep him in scale with how he should be from the comics. Wow, that's a lot. Let's do a final wrap-up here. All right, so here's a cool little scene. I got them all kind of focused. That Flame On Johnny's using a Mezco stand from Reed. But at the end of the day, are these figures worth it? Well, they're typically they're $24.99 on Hasbro Paul's website. You get them Big Bad Toy Store, they're $25.99. I got mine from various locations. I had an Amazon gift card, so I got him for free, Johnny. He was $24.99 on Amazon. I got Reed and Sue from Big Bad Toy Store. They were each $25.99. And I got Thing and actually all 4 of these Big Bad Toy Store. These 4 were Big Bad Toy Store, $25.99 each. He was $24.99, and I have Silver Surfer, Shala Ball coming, and she is also $24.99 from Amazon. So at the end of the day, are these worth it? I mean, if you collect Marvel Legends, if you like Fantastic Four, then absolutely they're worth it. I wish they came with a little bit more, some of these accessories, but I'm not going to complain too much. I'm so happy to have these. I cannot wait for the movie Friday. I hope it doesn't disappoint me. I don't think it will. Man, I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have these figures too. So let me know what you guys think. Give me a like, comment, subscribe. You know, are you guys excited for the movie? I'm not buying into all the hate that I see across the internet. It's just so much. People hate everything nowadays. There's obviously some things I get disappointed with and I don't like, but I'm going to try and keep an open mind for this movie. And just a real quick once over on these guys. Yeah. Oh, it's a shame that Johnny doesn't come with a flight stand. You can always use one if you have one, like I'm doing here. It looks great like that. This would look cool on a shelf, actually posed like this, like looking at the thread of Galactus or something, right? Doctor Doom, knock on wood. Real quick, which figure is my favorite? It's tough. I would have to say, surprisingly, I think it's Sue. And it does not look like Vanessa Kirby at all. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Like, this is a great Invisible Woman figure. She comes with a cool accessory. The proportions are really good. It looks great. Her head sculpt looks fantastic, even though it doesn't look like her. Second up would probably be the Thing, just because I love that head sculpt. The color, the bigger rock plates. I love the aesthetic of all these figures with the lighter blue suits. My third favorite would be either Reed or Human Torch. And then my last is probably Johnny, just the plain old Johnny. But again, it's hard to compare and I love them all so much. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Until next time, this has been Hasbro Marvel Legends Fantastic Four First Steps, Reed Richards, Sue Richards, Johnny Storm, Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, the Thing. Thanks for watching.